beneath his free hand, tickling his palm. Malaya watched. "Muhumbi?" she asked. Big John nodded, frowning. "Rhino." The moon was still visible, fat as a spot lamp, hovering low over the green canopies of the acacias. Such a moon drew men like worms from the earth, and they came with guns and knives and saws. Malaya's team had found a break in the fence just before sunrise. The dawn light puddled in boot prints that crossed the road. A hole had been cut in the wire, the snipped ends snarled outward, where men, 3 of them, said Big John, had slithered into the reserve. The squad of rangers had stepped down from the land cruiser and entered the bush on foot, following Big John in his oversized green fatigues, a long blade of grass hanging from his teeth like an unlit cigarette. Big John rose and waved them onward now, toward the squeals, spitting out the blade of grass. They stepped lightly through the sun-yellowed brush into the shadow of a leadwood tree. Here was the tree that some called the great ancestor of all beasts and men. The shed limbs could burn night-long, warding off creatures of the dark. Malaya made nearly no sound, willing herself into something light-footed, predatory, a creature elided into the bush. On her right calf she bore the tattooed scales of an eagle's claw, the triple talons inked over the bones of her foot. On her heel, the black scythe of the hallux. These were the weapons of the bald eagle, the symbol of her nation. On her left calf she carried the spots of the Visayan leopard cat, native to the islands of her grandfather, a Philippine scout who'd marched the death road out of Bataan when the fallen were beheaded by samurai sword. On the sole of that foot, the paw print of the leopard cat. Here were the bloodlines that rooted her, that sprang her, coal-eyed and wild, from the earth. The 6-man squad crouched in the tree's shadow, their shoulders dappled with morning light. Big John cocked his head toward a distant clearing, half obscured in green bunches of shrub. "There," he said. "Makoti." A spiral of vultures swinging black-winged over the trees. Yager, the unit commander, motioned for them to split into 2 elements, flushing the clearing in a pincer movement. Malaya would lead the second element, she and 2 other rangers. They rose and began circling the clearing. Malaya thumbed off the safety of her carbine. She hadn't been in combat since Baghdad, manning the .50 caliber on a Humvee, watching her comrades spill, wrecked and burning from the remains of their ambushed convoy. Her heart banged in her chest. I am, and she denied its brag. She was cold, heartless. She was blood and bone, unsorry for herself. The squeal split the air again, glancing off her sternum. The tattoo of a leopard's fanged face shielded her heart. She raised her left hand and motioned her team to advance. They stepped from the bushes, weapons locked in firing position, their feet moving neatly beneath fixed hips. It was a bull rhino, gray and hulking like a battleship, fallen on its knees. This double-horned colossus of the veldt, square-lipped and gentle as a wolfhound. Someone had cut off part of its face. 2 bloody stumps rose from the ruin of its head, like trees, if trees could bleed, and the animal was still alive, beached in its own gore. Its great ribs swelled against the armor of its hide. Blood bubbled from its nostrils. Long rivulets streaked from its eyes, black as mascara where they cut the dust. This great beast of the field, it wept. Yager knelt alongside the animal, placing one hand on its shoulder as he inspected the wounds. The horns were made of keratin, the same as fingernails, but the poachers had cut deep into the quick, excavating the heavy base of the horn. He rose, his khaki shirt blotched dark against